How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map to Farming Simulator 22 called Somewhere in Lower Bavaria. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, "Welcome somewhere in the Bavarian forest. This is my first map, which is based on the area near Passau. On the map, you can expect 6 farms, 63 farmlands, 13 forest areas for the tree pushers, 1 large BGA, 1 small BGA, various productions. Have fun on my first modding project." There are mods required for this map, quite a few, so let's go ahead and start reading those off. Starting with the package of premium pallets and bags by Happy Mole, decorative details pack by Triangle Trouble, Bavarian farm pack by Bernie CS, placeable dairy farm package by DMI 20mm Normandy, recycling center by Gwendol, BGA 50 kilowatt by Camelos 0397, Hessian Farm by Bernie MW, Open Air Garden by Omatana, Half Timber Shelter by Black Tiger, Pack Small Shelter by Mitej Mods, Old Shed by LS Design, Additional Decorations Package by Pizel, Fruit Greenhouse by MTL Modding Team, Sheep Small Barn by Mecca, Self-Marketing by Farmer5 Tom, Wooden Pasture Pack by Happy Mole, Small Garden by Happy Mole, Bavarian Building Package by Baron Agrar, Vehicle Workshop by Pascal Kautz, yeah. Franconian Farm Building by Bernie CS, Landsberg Farm by Bernie CS, Field Shelter by Ostro Modding, Jimmenschaft, Concrete Bunker Silo by Millenars, Agricultural Fair by Chen Ben, and Lower Bavarian Farm Pack by Bernie's CS. This map was created by Paco and is 419.49 megabytes to download. And if we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out here on the southern portion of the map, right in front of the shop triggers. Let's see, we start out by owning farmlands number 29, which is our main starting farm, and a small wheat field. Field prices do vary, but they're rather expensive for what you're getting. Some of the smaller fields are up here in the north. Farmland number 11, 53,000 for this field here. Moving over to this one, 78,000, and it just slowly but surely ratchets up from there. 82,000. We've got, let's see, 46 here at 101,000, 99,000, 140, all the way up to almost 400,000 there, 315, go down further south, 424, 337. So it goes up pretty quickly. A couple forestry areas here, 308,000, 384,000, 139, and smaller little pockets kind of tucked away in here for 15 grand, 152, and so on and so forth. So you do get a pretty decent range. You cannot purchase all areas of the map. As you can see, kind of the portion of town that's here in the south you're not able to purchase, and a lot of the little periphery bits all around the map. You do start out with several animal pens that are associated to you, but not necessarily associated to your main farm. Contracts are available on this map. You do start out with several production chains, including the fermenting silo, open air gardens, and so on and so forth. And again, spread out all over the map, these particular productions. So one of them is at your starting farm, others are around the map, and I will show those off later. No collectibles on this map. If we take a look at mods specific to this map, again, these are specific to the map, not the mods that are required. They will be tagged with the map's name underneath them, somewhere in Lower Bavaria. Starting with the buy menu, if we scroll down, you will see there's a mods and DLCs tab here, but nothing that's associated to the map directly. It's not tagged with the map name. If we take a look at this screen, the build menu, there is nothing under the entire tabs of buildings, productions, animals, decorations, but under landscaping, We take a look under painting. There are a couple of additional painting swatches within this screen. Nothing under trees and nothing under plants. So not a whole lot of mods specific to this map. Now we do start out here at the main shop area. Shop trigger is right here. And over here we have the repair trigger. It's inside the doorway here. And inside the bay is where you would take your vehicles. You see the little hash markings there and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and lease out a truck, because the only other way we have to get around here is at the farm just down the street, and want to make it just a little bit faster if I can. So let's go ahead and lease that. There it is. And now we're going to start out by heading behind the shop. Tucked away in the forest back here. Here we go. Right here is the biogas plant. If you come up to this, you can purchase the biogas plant for $135,000. This is the smaller of the two biogas plants. We have our liquid inputs here, liquid inputs here, solid inputs here, and our liquid outputs here, aka digestate. A couple of bunker silos tucked away right over here. Now you do have to purchase the land in order to use those bunker silos. So if we take a look at the map just real quick, we were here on the, about right here, looking at the shop trigger here. They got the repair trigger right over here. We came all the way back here. You do have to purchase the land in order to use those bunker silos. So let's go ahead and head out of here. Now, one kind of rolling thing that you're going to see throughout this entire tour is it's going to need an update where the kind of map is cleaned up. It's just going to need a little bit of TLC, because a lot of the grass textures and stuff are just kind of growing into the roads and all that stuff. So it's going to need a little love, but it's going to be okay. Tucked away right back there is the gas station. Pulling in here. Now, before we make it any further, I'm going to go ahead and apologize right up front. There are a lot of words on this map that I do not know how to pronounce. I believe they're in German, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I don't know how to speak German, so it's going to be one of those that I'm going to apologize right up front. So yeah, we're going to try our best. So starting off with the sell point to my left, this is the Incan Frustrim. Yeah. Sell point. Now, I believe that is shopping mall in English. And yeah, that is our first sell point. Again, this is going to be a continuing theme throughout the entire tour here. I do not know how to pronounce a lot of these words. I do apologize right up front to any of my German viewers who see this and are going to cringe very hard. I apologize. So, this is the grain mill production point. You can purchase this for $96,000. We have our outputs right here and our input tucked away right over here. Now we'll just make our way around. And backtrack. Just a little ways till we get to the main starting farm, which is right there next to the shop. One other update that's likely going to be needed is the traffic spline on this map is very congested. And unfortunately, that means that a lot of the times the vehicles will get stuck in places they're not intended to be stuck in. Just a lot of things. You also got the kind of not workers, but the pedestrian splines, and they're right on top of the road, so they get kind of clashed with the traffic splines as well. So you're going to kind of see that all throughout the tour here. Anyways, we are here at the main starting farm, so let's take a look at the starting equipment. If we go under the buy menu, under the owned items, starting with small tractors, we have a Valtra G125 and a Steyr 8150. Harvesters, the Deutz-Fahr Topliner 4090H. Trailers, a Welger DK115. Header for the Deutz-Fahr. We have under cultivators, the Amazon Senio 4000 Super. Power harrows, the Amazon KG 3001 Super. Seeders, the Amazon Kintea 3000 Super. Fertilizer spreaders, the Amazon ZAT S3200. Manure spreaders, the FarmTech Variofex 750. Under slurry tanks, we have the FarmTech Super Cease 800. Mowers, we have the K-brand GMD 4411 and the GMD 3123F. Tedders, we have the K-brand GF 8712. Windrowers, K-brand GA 4731. Forage wagons and Pottinger Boss Alpine 251. Under animals, we have the K-brand RA 142 mixing wagon and the Abbey Attachments 550 water tanker. Front loaders, we have the Quickie Q3M front loader. Under front loader tools, we have the Albut fork with grapple and the universal bucket. And that is everything. So kind of taking a look around the farm, we have our sleep trigger here and a wardrobe trigger here. We open this gate. We have a bunch of our equipment tucked away in here. We have our silo in here with one of our trailers, inputs and outputs right there. Over here, we have our fermenting silo. So if we look at our production points, you'll see up here at the very top, this is the Hessian fermenting silo and all the various recipes that you can use for it. And here we have a cow barn, room for 45 cows. We have our milk trigger right here. Open this up. We have our feed trigger and straw trigger right in here. And then bunker silo with some of our equipment tucked in the bunk. Our slurry output there and a manure heap right there. And that's it. That is the starting farm. Very, very small. Very, very compact. So this is going to be a map where it's going to be small to medium small vehicles and equipment. You're not going to get a lot of big equipment through this map. So if we follow this up to here, I'm going to stop just short. Over here is the this is the Zoom Glockenwort cell point. Moving on to the next one. Continuing further down the road, coming up to my right, right up here, this is the Bakeri Keetle. You can purchase this for $50,000. Input here and output there. Now following this back around. Now, this is part of what I was talking about where the congestion happens with the traffic spline. Right here we have the agricultural fair sell point, but you can see all the traffic starting to collect right in here and they just come to a stop in here. So there's some kind of collision that they're recognizing and they're not able to move forward. This is something I saw earlier and I'm seeing again here. So just be aware that it's going to be kind of difficult to use that sell point if all the traffic's kind of stacked up in there. But of course we can always turn traffic off. And again, this was another stopping point I saw them at right there. Is they just kind of get congested there and hang out. So let's go ahead and continue. So coming up here, we're going to want to make a right. And like I said, one thing you're going to see throughout this entire tour is just all the encroachment of the grass onto the roads. And I think it seems like there's a bunch of the road where it just kind of seems uneven with the rest of the ground textures. Specifically the paved portion. And there's one spot in particular, later on I will show, that is really, really bad. But again, it's just gonna need some care, some attention. But once that happens, it's gonna be a pretty solid map. So this is the second farm. What I'm gonna refer to is farm number 2. Now, if we take a look at the map, we were here at the kind of biogas area that we could purchase. We came back up and around. We saw the gas station out to the the Enkofzentrum. Whew. Yeah, sell point. Came out to the grain mill, came back around out to the main starting farm, saw everything we need to see there. Came up to the Zoom Glackenwort sell point, over to the Bakari Kettle production point. That's the bakery sell point, bakery production point. We then came back out over to the agricultural fair sell point, out and around and tucked away to right here. If we take a look at farmland number 63, we can purchase it for $86,035. Go ahead and do that. And now you'll see all of the additional stuff that kind of pops up. We had access to the sheep. I don't think we're supposed to. I think these are supposed to be hidden behind the scenes, but we did have access to them. We just couldn't do anything with like mowing or anything along those lines. We didn't have access to everything around here. But first sheep pasture is right here. Room for 30 sheep. Wool spawns there. Feed here. Water here. Over here we have a fuel point, a fuel tank. A hay loft right here in inputs and outputs. Let's see. Some bits of storage you can see. Over here we have another sheep barn or sheep pasture, room for 18 sheep. Feed here, and also feed and water, as well as wool spawn point there. And then another sheep pasture here. Oh, there it is. Room for 30. Wool spawn here. Feed, water. And that is everything on farm number 2. So let's go ahead and head out of here. Head back down the driveway. There we go. Let's stop running into stuff. Perfect. So as I was saying, you can see the kind of pretty big drop off that is along the road network. It's almost because the road itself is kind of elevated. This kind of concrete road is just off the actual ground texture just ever so slightly. So one of those where, again, it's gonna need addressed. It's gonna need to be fixed. So just little things. It's just, I've noticed it's just a lot of little things, but I haven't noticed anything so severe, so major that I'm like, oh man, that's going to be such a huge thing. Can't make my way past that kind of thing. So now we're going to make a left and follow this out to our next set of interest. Follow this up and around. Whoop, 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 whoop. Easy. All right. So tucked away up here, whoops, is the recycling center sell point. So this is the recycling center point of sale sell point. And all the various different sell points here, you can see we can take our wood and wood chip bales, specifically our wood chips, I think is what goes in there. We've got our forage here. We've got, what's this tucked away in here? Oh, more wood chips. So each one of these, you can kind of delineate where each product goes. We've got our, looks like fabrics and potentially wool. We've got some of our planks that go in there. We've got stones here, so on and so forth. And you'll see all the various stuff if you look at the price per 1,000, where what all will be taken at this point of sale. Now we come in here. To my left, or I'm sorry, to my right, we have the grape processing unit for 80,000. You purchase this. Input here, output in the front. Continuing across the bridge. Now, these are the greenhouses I was mentioning earlier that you do own. So here we have 2 fruit greenhouses. We open this door and go to the trigger here. You'll see we can do things like grapes, olives, tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, potatoes, sugar beets, and cotton. So a lot of different stuff can be done in this particular greenhouse here, but we also have 2 of the open air garden greenhouses here, and again, lots of different stuff can be done on that one as well. And we do own those, so we don't have to buy the land, we don't have to do anything. If we take a look at the map, you'll see, well, we were here at the second farm, came up and around out to here, continue to follow this up, went up this driveway, up and around, and now we're here. You can purchase the land this sits on. So this is something you can purchase. Farmland number 64 and 65, you can purchase that and potentially even do away with those gardens and use something else if you choose. Now, tucked away over here is the last point of interest in this location. This is the carpentry. You can purchase this for $60,000. Input here, wood cell trigger right there, and output right there. Now we'll follow this back around. Whoops. Cross a bridge. We'll head back out to the main road. All right. So now, come around here, and then we come up here. This is going to be the next farm. This is going to be farm number 3. We take a look at the map. We were up here, came back out and around, out to this area here. Take a look at farmland number 36 for $114,785. We can purchase it. And now you see a couple of new pop-ups. So in front of me, we have our silo here on farm number 3. Bunch of storage. We have a cow barn tucked away in here. We have the slurry output right there. Let's see, over here, got a bit of storage. Oops. Yeah, just a bit of storage in here. Nope, not that door. We have our sleep trigger right here. Milk trigger right there. Animal trigger right here. Room for 28 cows. And open the door. Feed goes right there. And that's everything for this farm. Not too much going on here. Again, they're really, really small farms, but they have a lot of character. Like, they're really interesting. But again, it's going to be one of those where you're not going to get huge equipment in. You're not going to be able to kind of expand on them per se, unless you start kind of eating into the kind of periphery of the farm itself. Now we've got to follow this all the way up here, and again, you'll see just clearly what I'm talking about in regards to just needing some care, some TLC on this map, and to clean up a lot of the grass that's kind of encroaching onto the concrete and all that. So there's going to be some updates needed for the future. But you do get some very lovely scenery, like this little pond here with all the ducks kind of floating, swimming around. Very, very nice. And especially considering this is the map maker's first attempt at making a map, I'm okay with this. I'm pretty okay. Now let's keep on going this way. All right. So we'll stop right here, and this is going to be farm number 4. If we take a look at the map, we're here at farm number 3. We came up and around, continuing to follow this, past the pond, out to here. Farmland number 48 for $140,790. Go ahead and purchase that, and you'll see now we have more stuff that came up. So starting with back here, we have our silo as well as a chicken barn, room for 360 chickens. We have the in and out for the silo, and we have the input for our chickens. And where were the eggs? Where did those looks like they're supposed to spawn right here, but you've got this yeah, that's the hazard mark for the eggs. So you got this little decoration right here. Can you delete this? Oh, you can delete it. All right, well, that's good. At least you can delete that and be able to get to your eggs, so the eggs will spawn. So that's good. Let's see if we continue to follow this around here. We have a slurry silo right here. Following this over here. Open the door. We have a cow barn right here with the milk trigger right here on the side. Open this up. Feed input there. Our animal dialogue box right here. Room for 45 cows. And slurry output right there with a manure heap right here. And let's see if I remember right. Yes, right here. Oops. Car right there. Sleep trigger right there. Now here we have some bunker silos. And again, you got to pay attention to this because there's the farm that kind of crosses the street here. We do have access to all the bunker silos once we purchase the land and all that. But you have this stuff back here that isn't a part of the farm. So over here you have a chicken pasture. Room for 30 chickens. Feed there. Eggs here. Behind me we have a small garden, which again, you do have access to this. You do have the ability to use this. Now, this is one of those review within the review, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of elaborate on this one because there is a particular product that is needed for this to function properly. It is the garden substrate. That garden substrate up at the top there in the top right hand corner can be found if you go under your own or your buy menu here. You scroll down to the mods and DLCs and you're looking specifically for package of premium pallets and bags. We scroll to the right, you will see eventually right here, garden substrate. This is what you're looking for that one. You can also get it in pallet form right here. So just an FYI, you have your inputs there. And over here, you have a water well or water point right there. I think it's called the garden pump. Now again, this is one where you can purchase the land that this is on as well. So farmland number 81 for $5,760. You can purchase this and then have more access to all this stuff. But you don't need to purchase it in order to be able to use it. So I think that, like I said, there's going to be some updates, and I think that's potentially one of them, is to make sure that you can't utilize the things that are on the purchasable lots of land. Something else I've noticed is that there are some places where the traffic spline just kind of encroaches on your side of the road. They kind of drive towards the middle of the lane in some areas, and others they kind of stay to their own side. But just something you got to pay attention to and be careful of. Over here to my left, this is the bakery. You can purchase the bakery for $50,000, and you have your inputs and outputs back here. Now continuing on, we have the biomass heating plant to my left with a wood cell trigger. Now coming over here, this is going to be the next farm. This is farm number 5. You take a look at the map. We were here at farm number 4. We came all the way out to the bakery here, the biomass heating plant, and then up to here. Farmland number 12 can be purchased for $268,070. Let's go ahead and purchase that. And now we have all the items available to us. Now, starting on the back side over here, we have a water tank here, a pressure washer behind that. Over here, we have our silo. Bunker silos here. Right here, we have a seed storage, a seed silo. Fuel tank here. Let's see. Nope, I went the wrong way. No, I didn't go the wrong way. Tucked in. Yes, here it is. Right here, we have another silo. This cow barn has a silo built into it. We have our inputs here. And output here. And then tucked away in here, nope, gotta go back outside. Got a manure heap here. Animal dialogue box here. Room for 80 cows. We have our slurry output there. Go ahead and close that. And let's see. We got the feed trigger here, and I think the milk trigger is actually on this side right here. There we go. And I think no, I gotta go out to the front and show the sleep trigger, which is right over here. So we have a sleep trigger here and a wardrobe trigger right next to it. And that is everything for farm number 5. Let's go ahead and get turned around. And now head over in this direction. Oh. Now heading down the road, we're going to make a right. Follow this up and around. Over here, make a left, and now slowly follow this around, because first time I came in here, I almost drove right into that little pond there. There we go, stop there. Open the gate, and now we're at the next biogas plant. This is the big biogas plant. Now, something else I think is going to be fixed in the future. If we take a look at the map real quick, we were here at farm number 5. Came out, followed this around, up, and into here. You can purchase the biogas by purchasing the farmland number 67 for $48,240. Now, again, less than 50 grand, and this is the bigger of the two biogas plants. But the first one we came across, the small one, was, let me find it, $135,000. So you are getting this one, a bigger one, at a much cheaper rate. Now you can see all the triggers come up, and it's a normal biogas plant, as we are used to seeing. We got our liquid input here, solid input here, and liquid output, aka digestate, right there. Bunker silos right there, that once you purchase the land you have access to. Now again, we're going to follow our way out. And now we're going to head down south. Now, coming up here, there's kind of this construction area that's going to... Whoa! Yeehaw! Right there in front of me, there's this construction area that blocks you off in this direction. So come around through the forest here. Then follow this. Little path until we get to the other side of the construction area, to this area here. So tucked away behind here is the debris crusher cell point, and over here we have the Bayerwald Satin GmbH buy point. Now I believe this is the lime buy point. If we take a look at the prices per 1,000 screen, scroll down till we find lime. Right there. There you go. Bayerwald Satin GmbH. And it is for selling. So this is the lime point right there. Heading further down. Beautiful lake right there. All right. So this is the first of 3 production points where my German is going to be absolutely terrible. We have the Molkeri Goldweg production point. This is the dairy. 70,000 to purchase this. And we have the inputs right here, outputs right there. Next door to it, this is the Zudost Zucker production point. This is the sugar mill, 80,000 to purchase this. Output here and input, oops, if I can, right there. And then finally, last of the 3 is the oil mill. Input here, I'm sorry, output here, input here. And then right here is the buy point. This is the Mayer's Olmhum. Yeah, 80,000 to purchase this. And that's how it looks on screen, 80,000. Yes, okay. Go back to the truck, where we have to do a bit of backtracking. There it is. There we go. So get turned around. Now here we'll make a left. Now follow this out to our next set of interests. Go ahead and stop the truck right here. And here we have the animal dealer. You can come to this location and click on this icon or any of the other icons where you have pens and pastures already installed on the map and be able to purchase your animals. Now, if you use this location directly or the pens and pastures directly, you will see that you get charged an additional cost. That cost is associated to a delivery fee. So if you go here and click on this, and we'll go ahead and do cows because those are the most expensive and it'll be easiest to show. You can see base price for an adult cow is $15.50, but you have to pay an additional $100 per cow that you want when you use this reticle directly. Now you can save that $100 per cow, per adult cow, by bringing an animal trailer to this location, using this icon with an animal trailer, and then load directly into the trailer. Then you take the trailer over to the reticle, wherever your barn or pasture is, and then you're good to go. You save the money, you do the delivery yourself, and you're not making the animal dealer deliver the animals for you. Over here to my left, we have the fresh feed for animals buy point, so you can buy all your feed for your animals. You got your cows, your chickens, your horses, and your pigs. Over here we have a what's called the Goldkuf buy point. This is a slurry buy point. And here we have the Bellenverkuf sell point. Now over here, let's go back to our truck, make our way to our next point of interest. Only a few more areas to go to. All right, in there you'll see that sell point. That is the Gatrid Hansi sell point. Whew. Yeah, but my German is absolutely terrible. I, again, apologize for how bad it is. Now we'll follow this down and around to our next point of interest. Over here, we have the sawmill. Stop the truck right here. You can purchase a sawmill for $100,000. Click on that. You have your wood chip output there. Our wood input here with a wood cell trigger there. And our output for the production is right there. And now to head to our last point of interest, and honestly, probably my favorite spot on this map. Again, you can see just how much of a dip there is on certain sections of the road. If you kind of trail off of it, it can be a little treacherous because you bob and like drop off of that road section very aggressively. If you're going fast, you're gonna go for a bit of a ride. So this is probably my favorite section of this map. If we come up here and follow this driveway up this little switchback trail here, keep on following this up until finally you get to the very top, and this is farm number 6. If we take a look at the map and show where we've been and what we've seen up until this point, we were at the biogas plant. We came back out of the biogas all the way down to this area here where we saw the debris crusher and the Beerwald Satin GmbH. We then came out to the dairy here, the Mokiri Goldweg, then up to the Zudost Zucker sugar mill, and the Mayer the oil mill here. We came back over here, out to the animal dealer, the fresh feed for animals, the Golkov buy point for the slurry, and the Belenvikov sell point. Came back out, came all the way down and around to the Gitrid Hansi sell point, out to the sawmill, and then finally up and around to this area here. Farmland number 55, 191,885 to purchase, and that is it. You don't see anything else kind of pop up on this particular farm. But if I turn around, you can see that is the road. It's just lifted off this particular portion of the map. It creates this really hard kind of lip right here. So yeah, that's going to be a problem for this particular farm. But this is, in my opinion, one of the more beautiful farms. We have the wardrobe trigger right here and a sleep trigger here. And inside here we have a cow barn. Feed goes in here. And if you take a look, signs are all over this particular barn, so you get a pretty good understanding as to what goes where. You know, we come up here, this is where the bulls hide, so don't do anything in here. You got manure that spawns in here, slurry here, manure heap also here. You got a bunker silo here, which I think this is kind of redundant because it's supposed to be able to spawn manure in here, if I remember this mod correctly, because this is a kind of secondary mod. Milk point here, and our animal dialogue, I believe, is tucked away right here. Room for 45 cows, and that is it. That is the entirety of the map called Somewhere in Lower Bavaria. Now is time to render my opinion and let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. Now, as I do, I try to pay attention to when the map maker specifically says, hey, this is my first map, or they make some kind of note in particular. So I'm going to grade this a little bit easier than what I would normally do. So color palette, I really like it. Terrain, the undulations on the map, again, very, very much like it. I really do like this map. Even with all the kind of flaws and issues that are, you know, very, very prevalent on this map. You've got grass that's encroaching every square inch of the road throughout pretty much the entirety of this map. There's no portion of the road that seems to be kind of free of mistakes. So that's kind of a eyesore, but not anything that's really going to be a absolute catastrophe if gone unchanged. It's just going to be kind of a visual nightmare. But that being said, like I said, I do really like this. I really like the map. The layout is, in particular, very unique and very kind of fresh. The farms are laid out very nicely. There's 6 of them, so you have your kind of choice as to where you want to start. And the last farm that I showed, farm number 6, was absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. The kind of road network that leads up to it is very, very nice. The farms themselves are not that expensive when it comes to purchasing them. You can very easily get into one or multiple different farms very quickly and without too much struggle. Now, the struggle you're going to have is you don't have a lot of farm to start out with. You got one field and it's relatively small, and the farm itself is, again, very small. So where you're going to struggle is getting the product necessary to be able to start buying those later farms and fields and all that stuff. But again, you got such beautiful views in certain areas of the map. Like, look at the hills here with the fields kind of built into them. Very, very lovely. Very much a big plus on this particular map. Now, what would I give this map 0 to 5 rating as per usual? In its current state, I would probably give this map a 2. And that's after I'm sitting here saying that I really like this map, and I think this map has a ton of potential for this map. Just gonna need some TLC. It's gonna need some revisions and some cleaning up. Some other things that kind of caught my attention are these kind of ponds and stuff here where they basically use the bushes as the representation of like weeds and stuff. There are uh, there are mods and there are other things that you can use in order to make the kind of weed effect for the ponds that would kind of make it look a little bit more natural and less kind of, for lack of a better word, and I don't mean this in a mean way, cobbled together. Yeah, like I said, that's maybe sounds harsher than what I'm trying to get across, but there are mods that could be used to make it look like seagrass rather than just the bushes underwater kind of thing. But for the most part, like I said, this is a fantastic map. I love the layout and I love what this map has going for it. What would I give this map if everything that I've mentioned before was kind of addressed? It was kind of cleaned up and looked after. The road was, more form-fitting to the terrain below it. I would probably give this map a 4.5. And I think the map maker did a fantastic job. This being their first map being put out, who knows? For all I know, these are all just kind of issues with the kind of porting over to console, and that this map looks all hunky-dory when it's on PC. I don't know. That's certainly a possibility. But if that's the case, then it just needs a little bit of TLC for us console players. So, yeah, I mean, you look around and you've got some really nice landscapes, some very nice, beautiful areas. And what I like about this, too, is that the map maker really kind of went above and beyond. And, like, oftentimes map makers will use a very similar kind of grass and textures and stuff for the road sides. Like right here, you can see there's these big kind of weeds and kind of like it's different kind of flora along this side of the road here, but we go onto a different portion of the map. It changes. Like different sections of the map will have different flora that are just kind of throughout its map kind of thing, which is really nice. That's a small detail that didn't go unnoticed by me. Like if we keep just kind of working, whoa, see, that's part of the road that I'm talking about. Yep, there it goes. Yeah, so you see exactly what I'm talking about there, where if you're just driving, like I wasn't going that fast, but you can see there's that big dip that's on certain parts of the road network that you just got to be careful of. So yeah, it's just going to take time. It's going to take time and a little bit of update. But once that happens, I would very, very happily give this a 4. And that's something else, is the traffic splines. Traffic splines are definitely going to need to be addressed. Pedestrian splines, same thing. So just going to take a little bit of time and care. And again, this is the other pond here that I was talking about, where the use of bushes are here as opposed to like seagrass and stuff. And it just I understand the effect that they were going for, but just didn't land in my opinion. So with there being so many different required mods for this map, having one more with the seagrass, I don't think would be outside of the realm of possibility. But that also leads me to a separate topic that I know a lot of people out there are not huge when it comes to having required mods as a kind of separate download for maps. And I got to thinking about it not too long ago, and I used to be the same exact way. I used to not like it when there were a lot of required mods. I would usually just kind of look past the map as a part of potentially being interested in playing it. But then it kind of hit me, is that, well, it really doesn't matter whether you have 100 different mods that are required for the map, or you have, no mods required for the map, but they're all kind of integrated into the map itself. You're just taking up the same amount of space on your machine as you would either way. It's just, do you have the individual mods, or do you have the, everything kind of lumped into one file? So it really doesn't matter, in my opinion, either way. So I've kind of changed my opinion on the whole required mods, to where normally, having a lot of required mods would be kind of a deal breaker for me. A few weeks ago. Now I've kind of grown and come to a different understanding for that kind of aspect of it. But that is where I stand, 2 in its current state, 4 when the issues are addressed. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show them by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. It shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day. Take care.